Welcome to Hypnosis Health Info. I'm Roger Moore. I had this morning a session with a woman a Slender for Life weight loss client. That was one of those just truly exciting sessions for me, truly rewarding, and part of what reminds me of why I love doing what I do. And this woman was all excited because when she got on the scale today, she was down 4 pounds from where she was 2 weeks ago when she was last here. And she'd been on vacation during that 2 weeks and still had released 4 pounds, and that brought her to a total of 70 pounds. So it was a great mile marker for her, and she was just thrilled and excited, and she has about 20 to 25 more pounds left to go till she'll be in her goal weight range. And we were reflecting throughout the session about her early months and when she started her journey with Slender for Life and releasing weight. And I recalled that at the beginning she had struggled and she had a lot of body image issues and we were talking and I said, so what really made the difference? What made that switch for you that you're able to start letting go of the weight? And she said, well, all along you had been talking to me about the power of thought and about my need to change my thoughts, which would change my emotions. And she said, I heard it, I knew it, but I didn't get it. And what I'd been talking to her about is how our thoughts change our emotions. And for her, she was going through life, living her life from, I have an ugly body, I have a fat body, I don't like my abs, I don't like my thighs, I don't like my butt, and just on and on and on about being ugly and dumpy and fat and just all kinds of horrible names that she was telling her body. And I had told her early on that what she really needed to start doing was focusing on loving and nurturing her body just as it was. That as long as she went around telling her body that it was ugly and fat and dumpy and all those things, then she was going to have those hateful and despiteful emotions. And as a response, she was going to feed her body junk. She lived on ice cream, she lived on candy, she lived on chips, and she was doing things to harm her body because she was feeding her mind and her emotions harmful thoughts. And as an example, I use things like talking about imagining the lemon and smelling the lemon and biting the lemon, and she could do all that and create the scent and the taste of the lemon and create more saliva in her mouth. And we did things about talking about walking on a warm sandy beach with warm sun and feeling the warm sun on her skin and the ocean breeze and hearing the waves come in and that salt air smell, and she could create all that and she could create, when we talk about times when she felt absolutely loved, unconditionally loved, and unconditionally powerful, and she could create all things, but she didn't really hang on to them. What she really hung on to was the negative emotions, fat, dumpy, ugly, and couldn't quite make the switch to holding on to the powerful emotions of love and nurturing and healing. And I hadn't even realized this, but she said it was one day in jest, I said something about, it's kind of like when you bite down on a piece of aluminum foil with a filling in your mouth. And it's kind of like that fingernail on the chalkboard experience where it just sends chills through your body. And she had a very visceral reaction to that, and just it totally creeped her out, thinking about the times in her life when she's had a piece of tin foil touch a filling and just how horrible that is. And she said it was that night at home she was talking to her 7-year-old granddaughter. And she told her granddaughter about being to see me, and they were just kind of talking about it and talking about imagination and how that works and the power. And she started sharing with her granddaughter the power of thoughts and how important it was to love herself and nurture herself, which I also found interesting. Here was grandma teaching everything I'd been saying to her granddaughter, but yet not applying it to herself. And she used the tin foil on the filling example with her granddaughter. And her granddaughter had also experienced that, and had that chill and shiver, and her granddaughter said to her, "Grandma, that's like you talking about your fat butt." Well, Grandma got it at that point. When she heard her granddaughter repeat back what she had been saying, then it went in. She got it. She understood how powerful that negative thought was and the negative emotions that that created for her. And so what she told me she started doing was, in the morning, she started, as she was brushing her teeth, looking into her eyes and saying, "Good morning, and I love you, and have a great day." And when she'd get out of the shower, she'd take a moment and she would stand nude in front of the mirror, which she had never done before, or at least for a lot of years anyway, and would truly look at her body. And every day she'd pick out a different part of her body and compliment that part of her body, thank it for bringing her this far in life, and tell her how much she loved it and how beautiful it was. And almost immediately, because of giving herself and giving her body those positive messages, well, then she started feeding her body vegetables, whole grains, fruits. She started exercising her body. She started stretching her body. She started giving her body water instead of diet pop. She started treating her body with love, with dignity, with respect. And guess what? The weight started coming off. As soon as she changed her thoughts, started nurturing herself, her emotions changed, her behavior changed. She started using her self-hypnosis to give herself positive suggestions, create positive thoughts, to create positive emotions, and also to create positive images about the body, that how she loved and nurtured her body, and about creating the new body at a much lighter weight, at her goal weight. The weight's coming off, she's doing beautifully, and it all started with her changing her thoughts from having a fat body and a fat butt and being very negative and very critical about herself, to loving her body, nurturing her body just as it was, just as it is today, so that her body can heal, so that she can create the body that she wants. So I invite you to check out my book, Becoming Slender for Life. Take a look at the Slender for Life website, and also at hypnosishealthinfo.com. Lots of tools, lots of resources, articles, videos, audio recordings, and radio shows, and my daily blog post, all to support you in creating a healthy relationship with yourself, a healthy relationship with food, creating a life of joy, of love, of abundance in your life. I'm Roger Moore, and this is Hypnosis Health Info.